Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing an interesting video here. I went and purchased a full face of products simply by e.l.f. One brand only. So I'm going to try to stick to just using e.l.f. products for a full face. Brows, highlighting, contouring, foundation, even the eye makeup to lashes. Some of this stuff I recently purchased like today, and then some of the other products I purchased maybe last week, like other shades of the concealers and brow pencils and everything. But you know, everything is still available. Nothing is discontinued by e.l.f. So you should be able to find these products if you're interested in purchasing affordable makeup in order to do like a full beat. So let's get right into it. Alright, so one thing I did not purchase by e.l.f. is the skincare. I'm going to set my entire face with the HD Sheer Powder. Now, you guys know I am used to or recently have started using a brown or skin complexion powder to set my entire face. I'm hoping this won't, you know, make a white cast. To apply the powder, I'm going to use a face sponge also by e.l.f. I was really curious to try one of their I'm not going to say beauty blenders, one of their blending sponges, because we always compare everything to Beauty Blender. It says that you can use this sponge either damp or dry. So I'm going to just start off by using it dry. I'm going to apply it in the cap here. And I'm going to set my entire face, make it mattify with this powder. This is for you oily skin people, okay, like myself. If you have oily skin, to just help minimize oil, control oil throughout the day, it's always good to just create that barrier between your skin and the actual foundation before you actually do your makeup application. You don't want to go in with just makeup application without putting that barrier between your skin and makeup. Oil breaks down makeup, so if you just apply makeup straight onto your skin and your skin starts producing oil, there's nothing in between to try to control the oil or block that oil from breaking down your makeup as quickly. So prepping your skin is key. Okay, so now that my skin is prepped and it's pretty much mattified, no gloss going on, you can't even tell that I prepped with oil. Can you? Nope. I use the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in the shade Brunette. I need to check online to see if there's a darker shade because I used this in a previous tutorial and I wasn't completely sold on the shade. I'm just going to fill in where my brows really need it. To clean up my brows, I'm going to use one of the e.l.f. concealers. This is the 16-hour Camo Concealer. I have 3 different shades here. I'm going to be highlighting, contouring, and also concealing with the 3 shades. So the concealer shade that I'm going to use around my brows is Deep Cinnamon. I'm just going to take a concealer brush and wipe a little bit of the concealer on the brush. And then just start outlining or cleaning up my brows. Whatever is left on my brush, I just take it above my brow as well and clean up above the brow. And you can either take your finger or you can use a fluffy blending brush to blend out the concealer. I'm also going to take that same concealer and run it across my eyelids. You can either use your finger or you can use your sponge to just blend this out. So far, the sponge is actually very soft, and I haven't even dampened the sponge yet, and it's very, very soft and bouncy, dry. So I can just imagine how amazing it's going to feel and bounce once I run it underneath some water. My eyes are evened. Have a nice palette to work with. I did not pick up any e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes. However, I do have an e.l.f. blush palette, which you can also use as eyeshadow. There's no rule in makeup. You can use eyeshadows as blushes, blushes as eyeshadows. Whatever you have, you can use. To set the concealer that I just applied to my eyes, I'm going to use this finishing powder, also by e.l.f. I was able to pick this up for $2. They had it on clearance. It's originally $3, it looks like. And I have mine in the shade medium dark. I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and just blend this all over my lid. I was really worried that this powder was going to be too light because it looks kind of light in the pan. But you can see applying it to my lids, it is not light or ashy whatsoever. And I'm taking this powder all the way up to my brow bone. Setting that concealer underneath my brow bone. The shade from my e.l.f. blush palette that I'm going to use on my lid, I'm thinking about going with maybe this deep color here. You can see how pigmented this can be for just a blush. Don't sleep on the blushes. I saw that there's a one eyeshadow challenge going around. So this can actually be one of the looks you can do with one eyeshadow. Or actually one blush. Alright, so now that it is all applied, you can also go ahead and blend as you're applying. I'm just going to go in with a clean blending brush and just blend around the edges. For my lashes, I have a mascara that I actually fell in love with. This is the Length and Volume Black Waterproof Mascara. It's just like the perfect wand. And you can see the bristle is very short. It's not one of those fat chunky mascaras. I also have the Luxe Lash Kit in Starstruck by e.l.f., which is a natural looking set like this. You probably can't even see it. They're so natural, it probably won't even really pick up on camera. But it's just going to add a little bit of more wispiness to my natural lashes. I'm going to apply my lashes with Sassi Eyelash glue. Don't know if e.l.f. has glue. I didn't get too deep into the glue part and everything, but so far so good. I'm liking how the look is turning out. Very simple and inexpensive. These tweezers are really good to press the natural lash and also the strip lash, like squeeze them together to help with the blending process. Alright, so the fun part. I am anxious to try this Flawless Finish Foundation simply because I love the concealer so much. I'm just hoping the foundation comes through like concealer does. I have mine in the shade Cocoa. Wasn't pretty sure of what shade I needed to grab. Oh, and it has a pump. So first I'm going to apply or start applying the foundation with the sponge just to see, you know, get a feel of how the foundation actually applies. Is it better applied with a sponge versus a brush? So I'm going to just start with just a sponge, and it is not damp. It's actually still dry, but still bouncy. Look how bouncy that is. Give it a few pumps. Ooh, is it going to be that watery? If it is, we might not have good coverage. So you can see it is very runny. So this is a little bit light. Looks like it's going to be kind of light. So let's try it, just blending it, the dry sponge. There was another shade that I was tempted to grab, which was called Spice. Yeah, it was called Spice, but it looked like it was going to be a little bit too deep in red. So that's why I opted to go with this one, because this one looks like it had more of a golden undertone, which is what I prefer. It looks like I'm getting pretty good coverage. Okay, so I'm actually not mad at the coverage at all. Not mad at the coverage, and this sponge is blending like a dream. It almost feels like the sponge is wet. My opinion. It's very soft, very bouncy. For my concealer, I'm thinking about just mixing the two, Deep Cinnamon and also Deep Olive, to highlight with. Take the pointy side of the sponge and also use this to blend underneath the eyes. I'm going to go back in with Deep Olive and just apply just a little bit in the beginning. Just a little bit, just to brighten underneath the eyes just a tad bit more. Well, because this powder is sheer, it shouldn't do anything as far as alter the color of my highlight or under eye concealer. I don't want it to go any brighter than it already is, and I also don't want flashback with flash photography. So I'm just blending this out just to make sure I don't have any creases underneath my eyes. And I'm going to take the same sheer powder that we used to set our face in the beginning by e.l.f. And I'm going to use this to just lightly press underneath the eyes. And I'm also going to drag some over here. This is what I normally do to just outline where I'm going to contour at. Alright, so contour, I'm going to use the same concealer, but in a different shade. This is in the shade Rich Ebony, which is a darker color, very, very dark, deep, rich color. You only need a little bit of this. I learned my lesson the hard way in another previous video that I did. Now, normally I like to use a brush with this, but I'm going to try the sponge as well. Just going to flip it over to the other side and see how this blends out with the sponge. Blends out really good. I forgot to mention that this concealer dries very fast, so if you place it down like I did, be sure to go and blend it out really quickly before it dries. It is really, really hard to kind of move around. What's left on the sponge, I'm just taking it on the sides of my nose. Okay, we're looking flawlessly beat right about now. Okay, honey, so what are we doing now? What are we doing now? I'm going to go ahead and set my entire face with the e.l.f. setting powder. Again, this is in the shade medium dark. I'm just going to use a fluffy large powder brush like this. Sweep away that white setting powder or that translucent setting powder. We're also blending the rest of my face together. Going over the contour just to tone down the contour a little bit. I have a liquid liner. I don't know if I want to do a liquid liner. Nope. I'm going to go in and outline my eyes underneath the lower lash line with my Gel Eyeliner by e.l.f. Of course, this is another waterproof product. And I'm just going to lightly put this underneath the eyes. I'm not going to go in the waterline. I'm just going to go underneath the lash line. Then on top of that, I'm going to go in with the same color that we applied to our top lash line. And just blend that right on top of the black. That color mixed with the black eyeliner actually turns into like a purple-ish color. It's really pretty. e.l.f. does have setting sprays. They have both a regular hydrating spray and also a matte makeup setting spray. However, I cannot find neither one of the ones that I've owned, or maybe I just ran out. I'm not sure. But I'm just going to go ahead and set my makeup with the rose mist that I normally use. Now, this is also a drugstore product. It's not necessarily anything that's expensive. You can find it in the same store that you find e.l.f. products. If you go to Walmart, they definitely have it there. I'm positive they have it there. That's where I always purchase mine. But it's just a nice refreshing spray. Nothing heavy. It sets the makeup really, really nice. Just melt, you know, makes everything melt. I forgot to apply my blush. I'm going to go ahead and apply this lighter color here as my blush. For my lips, I don't actually have like a lip pencil to outline with or a lip stick. What I have is actually a lip gloss that I'm going to be applying. This is the Lip Plumping Gloss by e.l.f. of course, in the shade Mocha Twist. My lips are not at all like a even coverage, so I'm just going to take whatever is left on my sponge that I use to blend out foundation with and just run that lightly over my lips. This is just going to even out the color of my lips. When you do that, whatever color you put on top is just going to pop even more. It's like the same process that you do with your eyes. You even out the complexion of your eyes so that when you put eyeshadow on top of it, it's just one even layer. So we're just doing the same thing with the lips. My lips are muted. And I'm just going to go on top with the gloss. Oh, that is pretty. Very natural. not sticky or anything. And if you guys were ever thinking about getting these glosses from e.l.f., I highly recommend them. I feel some tingling going on, so that lip plumping sensation is starting to kick in. So don't know how I feel about that, but it is very pretty. Not that I need my lips to plump even more. Overall opinion on all of the e.l.f. products, I actually enjoyed this entire look. I love how it came out. Everything applied flawlessly. I really have no complaints. The foundation applied very nicely. I actually thought the color was going to be too light, but as you can see, once it blends in and you do your highlight and the contour, it melts right in, blends in perfectly, and I mean, the finish of it is very pretty. Everything is matte, but it doesn't look dry or cakey or anything. It sets very well after you apply your setting spray. I love how it just blends out flawlessly with just a sponge. And I didn't even apply it with the sponge damp or wet or anything. This sponge is still dry. It's still dry, bouncy. Love the sponge. Thumbs up for the foundation, thumbs up for the sponge. You guys already know how I feel about their concealers. All three shades that I have, absolutely love them. The HD powder, I'm going to take a picture and see how this actually reacts with photography. This HD powder, it is sheer. I didn't have any problems with trying to get rid of the white cast or anything like that. It's very fine meal, so you don't feel it on your skin. Sets the face very well. It's not cakey underneath my eyes. Everything looks very flawlessly finished. You guys even tell that it's a blush on my eyes, or do you think it's like an eyeshadow from one of the palettes? See what I mean? No rules to makeup. If you guys love this video, don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Also, you can leave comments on what you would like to see in future tutorials, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Stay flawless, boo.